43 quintillion. Now to put that number into perspective, that's 43 with 18 zeros attached to that. That is how many possible different variations there are on a 3 by 3 Rubik's Cube. Now you're probably asking yourself, why is he telling me this enormously large number paired with this seemingly uninteresting object? Well, today I'll be telling you the story of how I figured out how to solve the Rubik's Cube and what I learned from that experience. So let's take a step back to the summer before my freshman year of high school. I was going on a church summer camp, and I was ecstatic. I had my bags packed, I was saying hi to all my friends right before I hopped on the bus, and I was hyped for a week of adventure. As I got on the bus with my backpack on my back, I saw that all my friends were sitting with other people. So I asked myself, well, who am I going to sit with for the next 6 hours on this hot and steamy bus into the middle of nowhere? I walked down the aisles and I saw a kid who I'd seen around church a few times, but he was one of those kids that I never really sat down to get to know or talk to. So I found this the perfect opportunity. I sat down next to him, didn't say anything at first. I simply just watched him. He had something in his hand. He would scramble up this Rubik's Cube that he had and solve it. He would scramble it up again, solve it, scramble it up and solve it again. He kept on doing this, each time solving it in 20, 25 seconds. I was astounded. After 10 minutes, I asked him, how did you learn how to do this? He told me that when he was a kid, his dad had taught him. He had practiced for years. He was slow at first, but he learned strategies and different algorithms on how to get faster and faster. I was completely intrigued. And after that week of church camp was over, I went home, went up to my mom and said, Mom, please take me to Target right now. So we drove over and I bought the standard Rubik's Cube from Target, the one that could barely move when you turn it. But I was hyped to get home and try it out. So I sat down at my desk and I started harder of a task than I had originally thought it was. So I did what any 21st century kid would do in that situation, and I looked up YouTube tutorials. I watched every single YouTube tutorial there was, read every website they had on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I did that for hours every day. And every time my parents saw me, I'd be holding that Rubik's Cube, working on the algorithms and memorizing it. Every time I would go out to eat, or on a drive, or just walking around the house, I had that in my hand practicing. After 3 days and hours of practice, I finally bested the elusive Rubik's Cube. I showed my mom, I showed my dad, my sister, and even my dog that I could solve it. And they were all super proud of me. But I felt incomplete. I felt, I can solve it, but it takes me 3 minutes to solve it each time. So I got back to work. I wanted to learn how to solve it faster and faster, so after a couple of weeks of practicing even more different algorithms, I got it down to 1.5 minutes. And a couple more weeks had passed, and I got it down to a minute. And then a couple more weeks, and I got it down to my best time of 30 seconds. Finally, I was happy with how I had learned. So I graduated onto bigger Rubik's Cubes. I started solving a 4x4, a 5x5, all the way up to a 9x9 where it got a little bit too expensive to buy. This process and this learning experience taught me a few things. If you had told me at the beginning of that summer that I would learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, I would have never believed you. But because I decided that I wanted to learn how to do it, I wanted to learn this new skill, and I wanted to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, I set my mind to it and did it. So this quickly became my life motto. Anything that I wanted to learn how to do, or anything that I wanted to experience or try for myself, I simply said, why not? And I went ahead and tried to do it. I wanted to learn how to code. So I took a class on it. I said, why not? I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. So I taught myself in my free time. I started to apply this to every aspect of my life, and I quickly began to gain a lot more skills and check off a lot more things on my bucket list. So I ask you, what is a new skill that you've been too scared to try? Why not learn that new language? Why not do that new thing that you've always wanted to do? Why not? Thank you.